Hey, it's Bryn. Um, Today, I'm in my car again because it's nice and sunny, and people were being really loud inside. So I was trying to film, and you can hear people upstairs doing the dishes, and talking, and doing the laundry, and I was just like, so I came in my car. Anyways, I wanted to talk about why I think that it is problematic to tell anyone, but we're going to talk about LGBT people, but to tell LGBT people that their loved ones will come around. Like, after that, like, if somebody comes out of the closet and their parent or their grandparent or their siblings or their friends or, like, whatever, rejects them and they're very upset about it, like, usually the number one thing that I hear is, well, just give them time. They'll come around. So we're going to talk about that. Alright, so first, I want to say, it is possible that, this person will come around. But it's also possible that they won't. And so you just, you have no determination in the future. Unless you, can see the future or something. Or you're God, or whatever. If God exists. If, you just put it in their head and basically promise them that their parent will come around. And that's not necessarily true. I've known people who come out, their parents stop talking to them, and their parent dies. What do you do then? Oh, yeah, that happens. It's not always, oh, well, it was rough at first, but now we're good. That does happen, and that's, well, it's not great when it happens, because it sucks at first. But that's, better than it never happening. But there, you don't know if that person will ever come around, so you can't promise that they will. And on top of that, what I don't like is that it implies that it's important if the person comes around. And I'm gonna get into why I kind of think it's unimportant. Or, I don't know if unimportant is the right word. But I can't think of the right word, so we're just gonna use that. If you prioritize someone else's perspective of you over your own perspective of you, life is not rewarding. Especially if you're prioritizing somebody who just rejected you for being LGBT. Because you can't change someone else's perspective. And that's a really hard that was a really hard thing for me. Really difficult. Because I like to be in control. I like to be in charge. I would assume that most people do. Who the heck says, no, I don't want it to go my way? Everyone wants it to go their way. But anyways, a little backstory. My mom rejected me when I came out as LGBT, and I haven't talked to her. I can never remember. I want to say almost 2.5 years. We've had 2 conversations, I think, in the past almost 2.5 years. One was, oh god, this is a good story, real quick. I had decided that I didn't want to talk to her, but we never had a falling out. But I texted her because she had one of my paintings, which was a representation of me being trans, and she knew that, and she specifically asked for it to hang up at her work because she liked it. Because when I first came out as trans, she was trying to be supportive, and then she met her husband, and he didn't like it, so then she stopped being supportive. But anyways, I forgot that she had it, and then I was telling someone about it, so I asked her for it, and she didn't respond. So I went to her work, just so I could get it, and she ends up telling me that she threw it away in the trash months ago. And I was like, and she told me that Actually, no, I cried. Not gonna lie. I cried. And then when I was driving away, she was, like, panicking because she knew I was, like, upset and probably hated her because, like, yeah. And, she texted me to tell me that she had these other paintings that I did. But her reasoning for throwing away my painting was that she didn't want to see anything that I did because it reminded her of me and we had a strained relationship. Which, like, could be true, but she could have gone about it better. But then when she told me she had these other paintings of me was when I kind of lost my shit, because I was like, I wasn't mean, but I was like really like straightforward. I was like, you know, that just means that you threw it away because you didn't like looking at me being trans. Like, it had nothing to do with me. It had, bitch. So anyways, yeah, it's not really a funny story. I don't know why I'm laughing. It was actually heartbreaking, and I can't believe she did that. But I'm mostly over now. Although I really wish I had that painting because I really liked it, and it, but anyways, whatever. I had that conversation, and then I had another conversation when I changed my name legally. She had my social security card and my birth certificate, and I was under the impression that to get them changed, you had to have the old ones. I didn't realize you could do it with, like, your license and the court order form. So I texted her to get them, and I did sound really rude in my text. I didn't realize it. I said something like I was trying to give her options because I knew we were on bad terms. So I said something like, you can drop it off at my work or at my house, or I can come pick it up, or something like that. But, like, the way that I said it, it sounded like, you can drop it off at my work or my house. Like that I was being, like, a sassy bitch. So, like, I didn't realize that till after I sent it, because then she came back full force, like, so mad, and I was sending the text to, like, other people, like, look what's going on, and they were like, well, you were kind of rude, and then, like, that's when I realized, like, oh, well, no wonder she's mad. That's not how I meant it, but I totally get that. But also, like, it's my stuff, so just give it to me. Anyways, those are the only 2 times that I've talked to her in the past. I'm pretty sure the last time I talked to her was, like, before that was her birthday in September 2016. Because then the next day, she moved back in with her husband. Oh, it's a long story. Oh my god. I'm not getting into that in this video. Anyways, we don't talk. But for a long time, when I came out and then she started to be supportive of me, I was like, wow, this is really getting well. And then she met her husband, and then she started to dead name me and misgender me, and didn't inform me that she was going to do that. So I went up to her and I was like, why are you doing this? Oh, no, it was her husband was doing it. And I was like, look, if you're going to say you support me, you need to correct him. Because it was before they were married, but they were probably engaged. No, they were not. They were dating. Because I remember. Okay, yeah. Anyways. And she was like, oh, well, by the way, I'm not supporting you anymore. And I'm going to be calling you this and that. And I lost it. Oh my god, I screamed. It was like the worst day of my life. I'm not going to recall that. But yeah, so that was horrible. And from then on, it was just awful, and I was so hurt and, like, devastated, and my sense of self was really torn because I had put so much I had put so much of my identity into her and how she felt about me, because she's my mother, and I think that's normal, and it should be that children can do that without having to fear rejection and without having to fear all that stuff. But it's not always like that, especially if you're LGBT. Although I see it in my straight cis friends too. You know, sometimes parents just suck, and just hate you for whatever reason they can find. So when that happened, like, even, like, before when things were stressful, like, and then even after that happened, you know, people are like, well, maybe she just needs time, maybe she'll come around, and I didn't like that, because all that did was make me feel like I had to hold on to hope, that I had to give her time, that I had to believe that she was gonna be good and not hurt me, and I had to continuously invest trust and vulnerability into my relationship with her, and that just was not manageable. And every time that I followed that mindset, it ended up biting me in the ass. I'm here being vulnerable, and she's here using that and pushing me down further and further, and it was just painful. And I see that happen with a lot of people, and it makes me so sad. And I know I do personally probably have maybe a more negative mindset when it comes to parents because of this. So like when somebody's parent isn't accepting of them being trans or being gay or like whatever, my first thing is like, cut them off now before they kill all your hope and joy. Like, that's like, and I know that's not like accurate, and that's not necessarily fair to the parent, because I don't really get it, like, your kid's gay, so what, or whatever. But I get that it's like they need time to process. But sometimes they don't use that time to process. They just ignore. My mother. So it's the only way that I started getting better and started feeling better about her not accepting me was to not prioritize it. So instead of being like, if my mom knows how hurt I am, then she'll feel bad and things will click and she'll accept me. Instead of it being like that, because then I was focusing on the fact that I'm hurt, it just turned to, why do I love me? And in a lot of ways I didn't, because even though I was out as trans, I was still like ashamed and like embarrassed internally, because it's not the norm. It's not something that a lot of people know about, or that people accept, or that people, like, even nowadays, like, things are much better, like, in terms of, like, society. Like, I have a trans community that I can go to, which, like, and, like, I have, like, a decent amount of trans friends. Like, usually, if I tell somebody I'm trans, a lot of the times their response is like, oh, my sister's trans, or oh, my cousin, or my like, they know somebody. So it's better than it was, years before that. So, but even with all that, it still felt very isolating. And it was such a big part that I knew I had to overcome, which is why I came out, and which is why I began socially transitioning, because I knew that I needed it, even though I felt all those things internally that I was just talking about. So, but then I started looking at things. Well, first off, I got a really good friend, my senior year of high school. Actually, I'm seeing her tonight. And she is one of those people that just, like, exerts love. I don't know. She's just amazing. And she really helped with not even in terms of gender, just in terms of myself. Like, she just saw me for me, whatever that was. And that was really nice. And it kind of encouraged me to do the same thing. And so I found the things that I loved about myself, that I'm optimistic, that I'm a free spirit, that I'm kind of annoying, that, I don't know, there's a lot. I'm not going to go on about how great I am, because, well, that'll just take a whole nother hour for this frickin' video. I'm just kidding. But I started looking at me through, like, looking at me as me, instead of through my mother's eyes. And it really changed my perspective. And it also let me see the things that I did need to work on. Like things, I wouldn't say I hate them about myself, but things that are definitely problematic about myself that need to change. It's great because I never have to prove anything to myself because I already know. And it's very liberating, it's very freeing, and I think it's very important, really for anybody. I think that you should look at yourself through your own eyes, and it's hard. I don't even have, like, I wish I had, like, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, you're all finished. You know, I don't have, like, a step-by-step how to love yourself or how to look at yourself through your own eyes. But I found that distancing myself from my mother and teaching myself that, well, I basically just told myself that she won't come around. At this point, if I had to take a logical guess, I doubt she will. But I've also thought about what if she does. And either way, I feel the same. Because my focus and my priority is not on how she feels about me. Like, everything that I'm doing for me. I'm not doing for her. I'm not doing to prove anything to her. I'm not doing to convince her that I'm worth loving. Like, I don't know. I don't want to have to convince anyone that I'm worth loving. Because, like, if you can't see it, I'm not going to fight with you to see it, because it's there. And whether it's your fault for not seeing it, or you just don't see it because we're different people and you just don't like who I am, that's okay. But I'm not going to argue with you because, like, I don't need to. I don't know, I have my own approval. I don't need yours. And so that's been something that's really helped me. And so I just, what is that? Ew. Okay, sorry. So I don't, yeah, I just wanted to encourage people to, try and look at their self through their own eyes. And the next time somebody says, I came out to my mom and she disowned me, instead of saying she'll come around, maybe say something along the lines of, like, you'll be okay. I don't know. I would have, or maybe that won't help people. Maybe don't say that. I'm not entirely sure. I know that would have been helpful to me. Or, like, maybe say, you're worth loving even if she can't see it. Or something like that. Or maybe the people don't even want to talk about it. I don't know. I think that saying she'll come around could be a complete lie. And I think that it's problematic even if it isn't a lie. Because your worth should be wrapped up in you and not somebody else. So, that's my little spiel for the day. Oh, I'm so excited to get dinner later with Felicia. That's my best friend. Okay, I'm gonna go.